Hello and welcome to another episode of Steeped, where we will be diving in, discussing, dissecting all types of topics: Christianity, divorce, life after divorce, infidelity, deconstructing, blending our families, all a range of topics, all kinds of things. This is our daily podcast. Thanks for joining us again. Today, I'm your host, Jalen Gladney, and as always, I'm joined by the beautiful, the talented, the deeply insightful Mickey Gladney. And today, we're, like always, we have our mugs. We're sipping on...
Listen, I got
hot chocolate and French vanilla coffee, and just
because it's supposed to be
life.
The spring, but it's cold outside.
It's coming. The spring is coming.
It's coming.
So, we've been talking about Christianity, deconstructing, parables, things of that nature.
We've been going so deep, babe.
Well, today we want to lighten it up a little bit and talk about us. One of my favorite topics, not us, you. You're my favorite topic. So I love to hear you, talk about yourself, your journey, and, just how you see the world. You and I think very differently, but we find a lot of common ground. And so, I just want to talk about how we kind of met, the time before we met, where you were in life, what you were thinking, Christianity-wise, faith-wise, and just how your life was and what you were looking for when you found, something above and beyond what you were even imagining or looking for, in yours truly. So please enlighten us.
Wait, so what's the question? Like, just, where was I when we met?
Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in your faith walk, and just in your life? Were you comfortable? Were you happy? And what were you looking for? Were you like fine, and then out of nowhere, boom, I was just right in front of you, and you were like, oh, it's a man.
Stop. You're so ridiculous. Yeah. I was good. I was very comfortable. I was living across the street from my parents. I had been for several years at that point. I had been divorced, single momming. That took me a minute to recover from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly the divorce did. But I was in a good...
That's a different podcast.
Yeah, it's a different podcast, but...
Stay tuned.
But I was in a good spot. I had a good job. I had a good setup with my parents across the street. My two sons were small, but I had help with my parents. I think I had kind of gotten to a point where I felt like I had dealt with a lot of the hurt for my divorce. Like, probably, I would say maybe like as much as I could have dealt with it as a single person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to orient back towards the idea of wanting to date and, find somebody.
How long did it take you from divorce to I'm ready to date again?
Listen, after my divorce, I said I'll just be by myself for the rest of my life. That would be just fine. I was definitely not going straight to the next. So, like maybe like 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
You took your time. You healed.
Yeah, I definitely took my time. I dipped my toe into the dating pool a little, like here and there. Uh-huh. Highly disappointed by most of it.
Okay.
I don't know. I had talked to someone like before we kind of broke up, but it was just, I don't know. I felt like it took a couple hours, and I was ready to get back out there. And then you were on Bumble.
You telling me we met online? Yes, we met online on
Listen,
Bumble.
That's how the kids do it these
talk
days.
First. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My brother had recommended that one because not everybody can just talk to you.
Right.
because I've been on some other ones, and it's
Yeah, some of the online dating can get
like all
highly, you
all
know,
kinds of people were in
disrespectful
there.
sometimes, and the messages I've heard that women receive are they're out there. They're, you know, unsolicited
Like you
and
want to think it's flattering that there's like so many like people in your inbox, but then you look at who those people are,
right.
and it's like,
Okay.
yeah, I can't. So,
Well, it's a numbers game, right? You gotta for
well,
some people
that's what I've heard.
you
It
gotta
was
just
just
send
copy
all.
paste,
Send
copy
all.
paste. Absolutely. But with you, I still don't know exactly how it happened. Either I had swiped on you like earlier
Hmm.
that year when when you were with somebody or weren't looking at Bumble or whatever, or it's like divine intervention because you just showed up in my chat thing.
Oh yeah.
Like in my little like chat spot. Like you skipped the first step. Um and I saw you on there. And so
Divine intervention.
when I looked at your profile, it said you were a writer and a Christian and a dad. And it said you were in the Air Force, which was a little questionable to me. I said, do I want to be a military spouse? Um, but yeah, you're like checking all these boxes. And so
Right. And you did for
I
me
reached
also.
out.
Yeah, we hit it off really right away. So it was very easy, and we were both very intentional in that. I think we were to that point where we wanted to find our person. Well, I was to that point. Maybe you were always to that point. I'm not sure. We dated a little differently. But where were you spiritually during this time? After your divorce, did you question your spirituality? Did you question your faith, or was it always, on 100 the whole time? You were like, this has nothing to do with my walk.
My divorce just it strengthened my faith because if it had not have been for my faith, that would have crushed me. So I think my walk was strong.
Okay, absolutely. I would say it was when I met you. What was it like being back? Because you grew up in this town, small town. What's it like being back after all these years? Just walking those same streets, driving those same streets. Seeing the same people. Was it
Felt
a
it felt
a
a little embarrassing, quite honestly. It was a little bit of a ego shot because when I had graduated
mhm.
high school, I said I wasn't coming back. And here it was.
We always
Here
say
it was
what we're not
back,
gonna
you
do.
know.
Or,
But I
you
will
know.
say that I did view it through a different lens when I went back because as a teenager, moving into adulthood, it was like, okay, I've outgrown this. I need to do something different. But then coming back, I was looking at it from like a mom
Mhm.
lens. And so I really did, because we had come from a city. And so then going back into that small community where, you go into the grocery store and you know everybody in there, it was really nice for my kids and for my peace of mind. I felt like they could have more autonomy
Mhm.
at like a younger age
Right.
because it was a safe
Yeah, definitely a great place
community.
for kids for sure.
So it was a great place for them. Everybody knew who I was, who my kids were. And so there was a comfort of having other people kind of watching out.
Yeah, definitely one of the perks and the pros of being in a small town.
Yeah.
So, what was you went back to a small town, small church?
It
What
was
was
the
it?
church I grew up
All
in. Yeah.
right. So, how was that? Was that everyone embraced you back there? I'm sure
Yeah.
also, and yeah,
Yeah.
you
Everybody
became a Sunday
embraced
school
back.
teacher.
Absolutely. I became a Sunday school teacher, which was rewarding in a lot of ways. But also, I think whenever you're in a teaching spot, you're not necessarily learning anything new
You don't think so?
because you're teaching it.
Like in the process of preparing, you're not learning then. Like maybe you're going deeper to present it in a way, or you just felt like you were a little stagnant at that time.
I didn't feel like I was really learning a lot of new things.
Yeah, no one
at that time.
Okay.
But I'd had a lot of spiritual growth like towards the end of my divorce and like directly after.
Mm-hmm.
And so it may not have been as stagnant as I think. It may have just felt that way.
Okay.
Because I was coming off of such a big growth before then.
Absolutely. So you're back there, you're on Bumble, you meet me. It says dad, Christian, an author, and you were actually turned out to be the published author. I remember we talking about that in our first text, and I was very impressed. And I said something to you. I can't recall exactly what I said, but it was like I thought you weren't going to talk to me anymore after that because it was like weird and cheesy.
Because I said
kind of
something
thing.
like, "Oh, you're a writer,"
and
then you said something like, "You can express things in writing that
you can't say in words." Something, I forget how I worded it, but you took it. You really like. It really did something for you, and I was happy then. Like, you kind of understood me. I was like, okay,
this is like the man of my dreams, right?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna be authentically just myself with this woman that I'm about to meet, and I told you early on, I was like, I'm not trying to like play any games or put up any kind of front. Like everything you see from me is just who I am, and I've been consistent with that, and like we just hit it off so well. And then, so I have 2 daughters. She has 2 sons, and our first meeting was all together as a family. It wasn't really planned. We had a date planned for a couple of days later, but you happened to be in the town that I was in, and you said, "Hey, you guys want to come out?" And there was a basketball game.
Yeah, my sons were playing basketball,
like pee-wee basketball. They were tiny, and my daughters were like the same age as your son. So I said, "Okay, let's go." And
I'm like, this is kind of weird, but if you want to meet in person, my son has a basketball game. I was thinking public place, if he's crazy, like there's lots of people around.
And we're both in small towns, so it's like the basketball game is like 5 minutes away. So I go, and then she's like, "Hey, let's get some lunch." We get some lunch, and the kids are hitting it off, talking. She and I are talking, and then you were like, "Hey, you want to go to the next town over?"
The kids were saying that. Maybe you had told the girls about the.
I might have told them. I had never taken them to the trampoline park.
Yeah, it was a trampoline park. They wanted to go, and so then they're at the table like, "Can we go? Can we go to the trampoline park?"
All right. And so like, I have nothing planned today, so we all get in the car. We go to. It was like 40 minutes away, I think, and we go there. And I don't know what's really going on. Like, is this a date? Because this isn't our date. But so I'm trying to like the kids are small, so I'm trying to watch them while still like pay attention to you. So I'm trying to like come talk to you, but you're like walking off to see about the boys. And I was like, I don't know.
I'm trying to keep that.
Is she feeling me? Is she not feeling me? So it was an interesting day. So we kept our date. That was like 2 days later. But before we get into that,
where were you spiritually?
After I got divorced, I feel like I don't believe my spiritual life took a hit necessarily. Growing up Pentecostal in the church that I grew up in, we were deeply against a lot of things, and divorce is one of them. And I remember debating with some older people in the church, when I was a teen or whatever, about, you can get divorced for this reason or that reason. And they're like, no, it says this. And then we're going back and forth. So it took a lot. It took a lot for me to get to that point where I was like, no, this marriage needs to end or whatever, with everything that had happened within the marriage. So I think my spiritual growth got stronger after the marriage than it was while it was in it, for sure, because it had gone up and down. So But my dating journey was a lot different than yours. So I jumped in a lot faster than you did. And it showed because there were some relationships that definitely could have been better if they had not happened, I would say. But one of them did kind of give us like some a bonding area. Like, you'd been through something and I had been through something similar, people that think the same and do kind of the same thing. So that was a plus, I guess. But before that, when I was telling people about that particular relationship, especially while I was going on, it was like entertainment for people. It was so crazy. I was like, no, you don't know. This happened, that happened. It was crazy. And for a while, you know, even when I did a Facebook, like, it was like one of those little quizzes they used to do. What's your type of person? And then it came back like, Jalen, you like crazy women. So I was like, Facebook is watching these posts were crazy back then. So, but even in that relationship, I was staying close to God. It kind of forced me to like, hey, you're going through this thing. It's really crazy. So it's pushing me toward God. I'm in my Bible, I'm praying more, I'm looking for answers. And then, finally, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You're in it, you're too close to it. But once that was over, I think, definitely when I met you, it's when I told you, like, hey, I'm not trying to just date a person. Like, I want us to be serious. I want to know that this is like, this next person I date is my person that I'm going to marry. And so I was putting that intention in from the get go. And that's why I think less than 2 weeks in, maybe we were like second date, we were like, had titles, like officially asked, like, hey, will you be my girlfriend kind of thing? And you thought we were too old for boyfriend, girlfriend titles. So I was her man friend for a couple of months.
Listen,
She's trying it out. She's like,
I was trying it out, but
this is
everybody looked
Jalen,
at
my
me
man
crazy
friend.
when I said
So
man
that's how
friend.
you
So I
introduce
said,
me.
okay, never mind, I guess.
Just boyfriend. Fiance, future husband. But and I went to church with you, and there was an older lady first time I was there. And she told you right away, like, hey, this is gonna be your husband, kind of thing. Like God told me. And so
yeah, I was like super into him, but but also trying to protect myself, like chill out. It's only been a couple months,
right.
But then my sweet friend, my sweet like elderly twin, we had the same birthday, but she came in and she said, God told me a secret, and she's like, you're gonna marry that man. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was, I don't think you told me that right away, but that was very cool. We did love her.
Like, calm down.
She shared a birthday with Mickey, and she actually passed on my birthday, which I don't know what that means, but it was just one of those things that you take note of. But she did say we were going to get married, and sure enough,
she was right.
We did. We hit it off so well. And that first year, I mean, there were so many just memories and things happening. Our families came together, the kids, our extended family, our parents, everyone just kind of got along so well that I was like, man, I don't think this happens, that often like that. And so we were taking family trips.
I think our combining went pretty seamless.
It really did.
Considering our first date was a family event.
Yeah. It was foreshadowing, that was, but, and then our actual first date, I had a lot of things planned. This was during COVID, and I don't know why we were thinking all these places were going to be open, but nothing was open.
I thought he had an actual plan.
I had a plan.
Instead, it was kind of a loose idea.
No, it was a plan
of what we're gonna do. But then everything he tried to take me to was closed.
Yeah, or it wasn't there.
So we just roamed around. We just roamed around the city.
We roamed around. We found that creepy basement place that we were like hitting the elevator to like get us out of here. Don't know how we ended up there, but we had a great time. I still wasn't sure, how you felt about me all day long. Even though we were having a great time, and telling you my favorite show.
I like to keep my cards close to my chest.
after that, and the next date, I just invited you over. We kind of did the same thing, roamed around my town, my small little town, went shopping, grocery shopping together, checked out a few random stores, and then she made her like this pot roast thing. It was amazing. So while it was cooking, I was like, hey girl, hey sweet thing.
That's what happened. I said, if I cook for you.
Yeah, he said, that's it. So I said, why don't you be my girlfriend? And what'd you say? You were like, yes, a million times. Yes.
No,
it wasn't that. But
no, it wasn't.
You did say yes. So
I was like, okay.
Nah, that's a little more enthusiastic than that.
We'll try it out. But yeah, that first year went really well, and then your military assignments took you away. So then the next couple years, it was long distance, and that was difficult.
It was long distance. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of driving to see you, which was never a task or a burden. I loved coming to see you. Doesn't matter if it was 15 hours, which I did, quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show up. It's 3 a.m,
and then probably like once a month.
Let's start the day, kind of thing. So if the kids woke up, but yeah, I mean, I remember that summer of the first year we went to. I was like, hey, we're gonna go to these museums or whatever, and you were like, I don't want to go to a museum or something like that. I found out later, but then kids, everyone had such a great
summer vacation to a museum. That feels like a
fun,
like a school field trip, and the kids loved it.
Everyone loved it. Then we ended up somewhere like it wasn't planned, but there was a swimming pool. We ended up there, and they were showing like movies in the pool.
That was like $5 to get into this swimming pool. It had a lazy river, and then they played a movie in the pool. That was
so we did that. We ended up
amazing.
At Legoland and school shopping for the kids together. I was like, okay, this is what we do. So it's just been really cool. I took you on a bunch of, I think, really cool dates. Also, there was like a rooftop thing. Mm-hmm. Then we went to a few other places. I can't remember all of them, but really, we need another date night. We're in the house now all together, 4 kids, basketball practice and cheer and theater and all these things. And so now our dates are usually like, hey, we're going to our room. We have our charcuterie or whatever we're eating that day. Bother us. We're off limits from this time to this time. We're having an in-house date. So we try to do in-house dates. Occasionally out of the house dates. The kids are getting a little older now, so they can, maintain by themselves if we're close by. They like to call us, when are you coming back? Where are you? All that. So we don't venture too far without them, but, we try to take our own. We do really well that we can like have fun doing anything. Like, hey, let's walk around the neighborhood, and then we're having a blast. So it's easy to create a date type atmosphere. But yeah, our faith has definitely grown. I think it's increased since we met. I think I've challenged your faith in some ways with some of my beliefs, some of my things. A very I would call you a, kind of not a hard line, but like, you had very strong beliefs that are like, these are the truths and they're set like this. And then I come on and I'm like, well, maybe it's the truth is a little bit more over here. And so I think you've done great though. You have reevaluated things and you'd be like, nope, it's still right here. Or yeah, I think you might be right over here. So I really appreciate having that in a partner, someone that doesn't just shut down new thoughts or ideas.
No, I mean, I'll listen to anything, but I'm also going to think about it. I don't just believe it just because somebody says it, but I'll listen to anything. Mm-hmm. So speaking of challenges.
Yes.
Did you think that long distance was challenging between us?
When I moved here and left you guys, there before you came, I don't. Yes and no. It has. But
it was before then too, because you had all that training the year before that, also before you got stationed here. So I mean, it was 2.
Right.
Like we were together 3 years before we got married, but there's 2 solid years in there that we were not. At
It
first, you're just
seemed,
an hour away, and then you're
yeah,
like 15 hours away.
it seemed like we were still so connected. There were times, absolutely, where I was like, man, I just wish you were here, the kids were here, and all that. But I feel like we talked so much. We
Yeah.
FaceTime, we're falling asleep on the phone together, all that kind of stuff. We're playing games, watching shows at the same time, linking our phones up and stuff.
Yeah.
So we were connected that way, sharing playlists with each other. But there were definitely times where I was like, man, I just wish you guys were here. I will say I went into it knowing, being in the military, knowing that there was going to be this time apart, but close to the end, when it was about to be over, I think that was the hardest time. Just like because I was over it by that time. Like, all right, I've done it. I've done all the way. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I think that was my only question mark with you. I liked all these things about you, but you being in the military, like, I respect the military, but it does feel like it's a lot of sacrifice for people who are in the military.
Right. Absolutely.
And the idea of being separated or not knowing where you're going to live until the government tells you, that was very
It's very foreign for you.
scary for me. I run anxious, and so that uncertainty and unknowing was uncomfortable for me.
But you hung in there. You did great. And when we got together, I remember you saying it was like during that time when we were apart, whenever we did get together, it was like an event. It was nonstop fun, and then you're gone. And then you come back and it's nonstop fun again. Or I'm coming in town for like special occasions and things of that nature. So it did create a lot of like fun times and memories and things like that. So I cherish that time. I take it for what it was, but definitely wouldn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
I did it. I'm over it. We made it through long distance. So many people don't. That kind of like reveals, like I don't want to be with someone that I can't be with, or hey, I called you and you didn't answer. Like, was it like you have to be secure in your relationship and
I think it proved that our connection was multifaceted because, if you have a physical connection like that's important, and I mean, it's like a non-negotiable. It's necessary, but if that's the only facet of connection, then that long distance is going to fracture you for sure.
For sure, definitely.
But I think we were able to rely on the intellectual connection and emotional connection and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like supplemented us while we were physically apart.
Right. And I think the fact that we had a time limit on it, when you guys, you were going to come join me, and we had goals that we were working on, and it helps that we could talk, for hours. I remember times we get on the phone and it's like we didn't have anything to say for like the first couple minutes, and then like 5 hours later, like deep in all these conversations. So it would happen like that over and over again. So it was really a good time, and we're both fun. So
I think you're more fun than I am.
No, I mean it depends on the setting.
You're more relaxed than I am.
Absolutely, I'll take that
for sure. But yeah, so we dated for 3 years.
3 years.
We dated for 3 years, and then got married that third year. Pretty close to when we started dating.
Very close to when we started dating. Yes, we actually did a ceremony on a cruise. That was our new thing at the time, taking cruises. So, it was good. It looked amazing. I blacked out. I remember she came in, and then, it was a whirlwind. We read our vows, took pictures.
So we actually got married a couple days before we went on the cruise, because I found out that if you get married on the ship, it's not actually legal because you're in international waters, so there's no like governing like agency over it. So we had to technically get married, a couple days before. Well, I had a dress for our little at-home wedding.
Yes, it was a very nice
and
dress.
He didn't even notice that I had a whole new dress.
I noticed how beautiful you looked in the dress.
On the ship.
I said, dang, she looks good. But I didn't notice it was a new dress. I mean, it was over the top different. Like it had the long, train and everything, a little, but I'll tell you that I blacked out. I saw you and it was wow. And then boom, it was over. We were married. It was a great time.
Yeah, so. It was good. It was a great time. Again, it was like a family event. We had our kids with us, like our kids, some friends came, grandparents, all of that. But I think that has been a quintessential cornerstone in our relationship is we are so family oriented, and we have a great time just being you.
Right.
But we also have a great time with
we had everybody in, and we're still having a great time. Yeah, we actually like them. So
we do. Like, I don't understand like people that don't like really hang out with their kids. Like, I love hanging out with their kids, but
I get it. But you were very big on that in the beginning. And me, I'm like, I like them and all, but like I'm trying to kick it. With you. But no, we have a great time with them. We play a lot of games. We do a lot of things. We try to be really invested in their lives. But speaking of, our family's getting along really well. My mother, she's a little different, I think, but she doesn't get along with everybody. And I thought when we took that trip very early on, it's like 14, 15 hours. We were driving.
Oh, so we were 5 months in of dating. And then he asked me to be his date for his cousin's wedding, but it was a 15-hour trip, like 15 hours away. The girls were flower girls, his girls, and so they were going, so I was going to bring the boys also. And then your mom came into the car, like, or wanted to drive with us too, and so I said, okay, we can use my car. But there's 7 of us in there. And I remember telling my coworker, this may not be a great idea. I'm like, either we're going to break up or we're going to get married. Like after this trip. So, but it actually went really
That trip went really great.
It went great.
And I gave my mother a chance to spend time with the boys, get to know them. And I think that, they hit it off perfect and great. So, those are her grandkids now. And man, it went better than I thought. I thought it was going to be like a little, some friction somewhere, misunderstanding, something. Nothing. Not at all. It was great. So, to you, babe, to us, to finding the one on Bumble.
Absolutely. We're not sponsored by Bumble.
We're not sponsored. Not yet. But a success story. Hey guys, this has been a little bit of our story. We'll definitely get into some more, what happened prior marriages and things, and into like the teachings on divorce and how that like played into our lives and how we handled things. And
I'd be curious to know what your relationship story is. Did you get a lot of those same messages with divorce, that it wasn't okay? Have you gotten stuck into an unhealthy relationship, or what does your relationship look like now? Are you on, this is our second marriage, and we've learned a lot from our experiences before, and we're doing great now. So do you have the same experience? Have you been able to take your past relationships and move you into a healthier space?
Absolutely. Or if you've made the first one work, good on you.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're not doubting that. But thanks for joining us, and come back when we talk about, what are we talking about next? Stay tuned. We don't know.
See y'all next time.